Hi everybody, this is Piotr again, and this is second part of the studio tour. In the first one I did the tour of my modular system, and today I wanted to focus on how everything is routed and the rest of the setup. So those are the two cases. They're resting on the little shelf that we have over here. Essentially the shelves are used for storage, but also to hide the cables that are in the back. Yeah, so I guess we'll go over to this section here, which is my synthesizers that are keyed. So they're resting on the table for now over here, which works, but I might invest in like a 3-tiered or 4-tiered keyboard stand, just so it's like more secure, I guess. This is a very makeshift thing that I'm doing here. So I essentially have 3 boxes covered with like a blue blanket, which goes all the way down there, which makes it hide most of the cables from the ground. So here we have the Korg ARP Odyssey. So this is the 2015 version, the remake by Korg. It sounds really nice. I recently started using it very often for my songs and compositions. It's cool for like the performer style playing, because you have like the glide, the portamento, and then you can transpose it easily, and then you have those like LFO where you can press it longer and you have like aftertouch, which is pretty cool. So that's this one, and then this one is actually sending high output for this instrument. And then over here you have output, so you can route it through a eurorack, which I do also as well. Then this is a low output, which I also have plugged in, but the cable's over there because I just made a video with where I routed the synth through the eurorack. So it's also receiving MIDI as well from the entire station, which I will show later, and then that's the power for it. Okay, so that's that. This one is the Moog Subsequent 37 CV. This is the edition from the Moog Fest in 2017. It's the only really difference between this one and the Subsequent 37. It's obviously the color, but also it has CV and gate outputs and inputs on the side over here. Hole over there for inputs and outputs. But other than that, they only just improved like the headroom, I guess, and some minor things. But overall, I mean, this is an amazing mono synth, and it sounds incredible. And then this one is getting MIDI and outputting MIDI, and there's an output there, and that's pretty much it. And then over here we have my pride and joy, the Roland Juno 60. This one does not have MIDI, so I have to play it essentially, and there's no way for me to send it MIDI or do that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is I'm just gonna mention that this is a 6-voice polyphonic synth, this is a monophonic synth, and this is a duophonic synth. So yeah, each of them are good for their own thing, I'd say. So Juno I use for pads, chords, and lead lines. The Sub I use for bass and like low leads, but also for sequences. And this is the one that I most often send MIDI to, and I have like renditions of songs. It just sounds really nice and full. And then this one's really good for, again, leads and playing stuff, but also stuff that is for effects. So sample and hold, or ring modulation, or like noise stuff. It's just really responsive, and it plays a very important role in all of my compositions. Here, I guess we'll move over to the desk section. This is where I hold all of my eurorack cables, but also USB and stuff like that for the monomes and for other things. I don't have a way to lock it in place on this stand that's hanging on for its dear life, but I just have this for the microphone that I'm not using right now. And of course a little handy screwdriver here, just in case some screws fall out of the modular or something like that. So here we have a lamp, which has a USB plug on it, so it charges this over here, which is for my phone and watch, and I don't know, it's more convenient to keep charging things in its own space and then not having to worry about it being all over your studio. This is Arturia keystep. This is my main MIDI controller. I use this when I'm producing in Ableton. Here we have, because I work on a Mac, you have countless of adapters for extensions of USBs and USB-Cs and stuff like that. It's annoying, it doesn't look good, but it works for me. So then we have the Tannoy Reveal 402. They're okay. They lasted me for a while now, and I think soon will be a good time to replace them for something a little bit more transparent and more powerful sounding. But these have been pretty good for the past 5 or 6 years. This is my light that I use for videos, and then on top of it the iLok is resting for Pro Tools. This is one of my tripods for filming. This is the Zoom H6 for sound design and collecting samples. Oh, and then I use the Audio-Technica ATH M50X, I think that's what they are. Headphones. I've been using those for 6 or 7 years, really. Yeah, since I started producing. This sounds amazing, and I don't really want to switch to anything else. This is my other tripod, the main one for videos. I mean, I don't really have much of a need for a better one. This is just, it does this job. It holds my phone in place. Yeah, and I also use my phone for videos. It shoots 4K 60, so that's all I really need. Alright, so this is the rack. And here we're gonna start at the top, and then I'm gonna show the routing in the back. This is the Motu MIDI Express 128, which is a MIDI interface. 8 ins, 8 outs. I use that a lot. Yeah, so and then the power conditioner, which I use for all of the things that are mounted to this table. This is the Claret 2 Pre from Focusrite, which I only bring to school. I don't use it really here very often. It does have ADAT, so I can theoretically have more inputs and outputs, but there's really no point. This is it's a Line 6 HX Stomp, which is a guitar pedal, but also it acts like a big effects processor for the guitar. Right now I'm not at school, so I just use it as an effects processor where I have like a reverb or delay, and then I just patch it into the patch bay over here whenever I want to use it. On this side we have the patch bay, the new Trick patch bay, and then the new Apollo X6 from Universal Audio. It's amazing, and I'm glad I have it because it sounds incredible. And it has this is the 6 line inputs and 2 unison mic pre's for 2 inputs from microphones. But I don't really use them for microphones. This is the 6 inputs for all the synthesizers. I also have those 2 blank panels over it and under it, just because when I use it for an extended period of time, it heats up. So just to prevent overheating or heating up other equipment, I just have 2 blank panels there to keep it cool-ish. I'll show the routing right now. Okay, so we made it to the back. This is a mess over here, but you cannot really tell from the other side because it's very nicely tucked under here, so you can't really tell that it's messy. So yeah, this is joy. So this is the back of the MIDI interface. I essentially have from MIDI out, this is going into the input of the Subsequent 37. So whenever I make anything that requires me to use that, I send that over there, and then it's coming back through input 1. And then I think our output 2 is the ARP Odyssey. And because it doesn't have output from there, it does not go into input 2 of the 128. And then it's a USB cable over here, so that goes into the computer. This is all the power that I just mentioned. And then from the line 6, it's routed input output from the top of there into the front of the patch bay. So this cable is for the high output of the ARP Odyssey, which I sometimes plug into input 1. This one is plugged in by default to like if I ever use the microphone, that's input 2. Yeah, then we have the input 1 through 6 for all the synthesizers, and then speaker left and right, and then of course power, and then Thunderbolt 3. So I think for all of them here, it's 1 and 2 is modular, 3 is subsequent, 4 is the ARP, and then 5 and 6 stereo is the Juno. So it's perfectly enough. But then what I do actually is I'm sending the first two. The first two are the eurorack, left and right, and then they're going out from the patch bay into the interface. So by default it is routed to go into the interface, but if I break the connection by powering on the line 6, it kind of just goes through that first, before going into the interface. So that's pretty convenient if I feel like I need more reverb before going into the interface. And then yeah, so essentially I've done that for all of them. So if I want to have more reverb on the subsequent or the ARP or the Juno, I can, instead of using it for the modular, I can use it for any of the other pairs and it's still gonna work. Yeah, and that's that. And then this guy over here is just a stereo amplifier for in-ear monitors for gigs. We usually play guitar and stuff like that. And then this is my SSD and then HDD for backup and plugins and samples. And then, you know, charging the computer and stuff like that. But, you know, this mambo jumbo of cables over here. Pure joy. Oh yeah, and this is the guitar that I use for playing 6-string Strandberg Pliny signature with the whammy that I don't really use that often. But yeah, it's a fantastic guitar, headless, it weighs nothing, so it's perfect for playing like 2-hour shows. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if any of you have any questions or concerns or you know, really anything, just type them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. So if you liked it, you know, like the video, subscribe for videos every 2 days, and yep, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.